Hey everyone, Hedgehog here. Today I'm back after a long break. I hope to start making videos a lot more often, which should be pretty easy since the last one was about 6 months ago. But anyway, let's get down to business. And when I mean business, I mean credits. Elite Dangerous just had a major update, and along with some very nice visual upgrades and whole new exploration system, the super boring mining mechanics also got a major upgrade. So if you remember mining, it used to be that you fly up to some random asteroid and start lasering it for a while until enough chunks of raw material fly out, and then you move on to the next one. That's boring. I've never even bothered with it since it just looked like the dullest thing you could possibly do in Elite Dangerous. But now, things are different. Actually, they're so different that when I saw that you could easily make over 10, 20 million credits an hour while mining, I just had to try it out. But fortunately for me, and maybe for you too, which is why you're watching this video, I had absolutely no idea what to actually do to make this sort of money. I knew I had to blow up asteroids and grab something called void opals, but how? What do I use? No clue. So I took a deep dive in, spent a bunch of hours, about 10 million credits, just to figure it all out, and I'm super happy to share it with you in this video. So if you've never mined before, just like me, and you want to make upwards of easily 30 million credits an hour, it can even go higher if you know exactly what you're doing, you get a little lucky, just keep watching. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to have in order to make those big bucks is a fairly easy to get investment of about 10 million credits for a ship and some change for insurance in case it blows up. If you already have a lot of money, then basically any ship will work. You just want to have as much room for the optional internals as you can find, and anything else doesn't really matter. If you don't have 10 million credits, then you can get that much money just by exploring with the new mechanics. So basically, I'll go over this in a future video, but basically you just want to have a surface scanner and a fuel scoop, and even a sidewinder will work just fine. You just need to fly away from the populated systems. You want to find terraformable planets, so that's high metal or metal-rich water or Earth-like planets with an atmosphere, and then you use the surface scanner on them to map them. And a good catch like that is worth at least 1.5, 2 million credits. I've even seen it go upwards of 3 million credits per planet. So it shouldn't take you too long. If you scan about maybe 20, 30 systems, you should have enough money to get you started mining. So I'll have a whole other video on this approach soon, but for now this should help you get started. So once you have your investment money, it's time to grab a keelback. The keelback is the perfect starter ship for mining. You won't be using it for long because you're going to be making a ton of money, and you can upgrade it to something bigger, fancier, like a Python even, pretty quickly. Okay, so this is just a tip to help you find a keelback. You're going to want to go to this website here. It's inara.cz, and I'll link it in the description below. The website is a wonderful resource to help you find pretty much anything you need in Elite, and we're going to be using it again before this video is over. So for now, you just want to head over, click on sign up. You do need to register to this website in order to get the functionality that we need out of it, but don't worry, it's free. So you can just register, and once you're logged in, click on your name in the upper right corner. Now you're going to want to set your location. And once you do that, you get a little notification that it's been set. And then you want to go to the shipyard and find a keelback. Okay, and once you do that, you click on it. And now you see a list of all the stations, all the nearby stations that sell a keelback. So just head over to one of these and grab your new ship. Okay, once you have your ship, we want to get it ready for mining. The first thing we're going to take a look at is hardpoints. When you look under the mining options for hardpoints, there are 4 different types, and you can see them here. First one is the subsurface displacement missile. This is a new mechanic that allows you to dig fragments from inside the body of an asteroid. We don't need it for mother lode mining, but it's a very neat mechanic. We'll take a look at it later, so grab one if you want to. Second is the seismic charge launcher. This is the big one. It sets up charges in specific spots on the asteroid in order to blow it up. This is absolutely necessary for us, or we won't be able to get those tasty minerals. This is the main weapon that we're going to be using. The next main weapon is the abrasion blaster. This one is also a new mechanic, just like the first two. And what it does is shoot a circular charge at the outside of the asteroid to kick off chunks of minerals, and we'll see that later. This one is also absolutely necessary, as after you blow up an asteroid, many valuable minerals can only be extracted using this weapon. Finally, we have the classic mining laser. It's boring, grab it if you want to, but you won't be using it. If you have any extra hard points left, which means you didn't get a kill back, you can use them for defensive turrets. You probably won't be seeing anyone around you, so I'm not sure it's necessary, but if you have the room, grab them. For utilities, the only one that's absolutely required is the pulse wave analyzer. This is the utility that allows us to scan the asteroid and find the ones with a new mechanic, specifically the ones that can be blown up. So grab the best one, as it has the best range and you want to see as far out as possible. If you have a ship that's bigger than the keelback and you opted for shields, which is highly recommended, but we'll see that in a second, then you can also add shield boosters for added defense. Again, not really necessary, just more of a precaution. For optional internals, you absolutely must get a refinery, a collector limpet controller, a prospector limpet controller, a detailed surface scanner, and as much cargo as you can spare. If you have some extra room, grab shields. They really help, but there's not enough room for them on the keelback. They're not necessary, but they will help you out. This setup, specifically here, works really well. You can pull in about 90 million credits worth of cargo in a single haul if you're careful not to smash into too many asteroids. About 2 hauls like that and you can upgrade to a Python. The core internals don't matter too much, just make sure you have enough power for everything and a decent FSD range. Okay, you're all set up. Let's go mining. Next up is finding a resource extraction site with valuables in it. We're very specifically looking for icy rings around a planetary body. Doesn't matter if it's gas or rock or ice. So fly to the outskirts of the human bubble and use the FSS to find icy rings with common or pristine resources. If it says there are low or depleted resources, don't waste your time and fly to the next system. If you've used my setup, you don't have a fuel scoop, so make sure to stay fairly close to an inhabited system so you don't get stuck. This shouldn't really be a problem, as icy rings are extremely common and almost every system has them. Once you've found the rings, fly close and fire up a surface scanner probe at the rings. This will perform a quick sweep and light up all the hotspots. We're looking for a void opal hotspot, so find it and dive right in. You don't need to get to the center of the hotspot. I've found that landing about 4,000 to 8,000 kilometers away from the center and then slowly working your way to the center works best. Now comes the tedious part, finding a motherlode asteroid. We need to hit the pulse wave scanner every 5 to 10 seconds to find hot asteroids. These show up anywhere from a pale orange to a very bright yellow, and they can be all around you. You want to fly somewhere in the low center of the ring and look around you all the time. They could be to your right, to your left, they could be a little bit above you. You want to look all around you, make sure you don't miss any hot asteroids. We're looking for a very specific asteroid shape that has a yellow glow. It doesn't have to be very bright, although that is a very good indication that it's going to be a good one. Once you find an asteroid that looks like this, you want to visually scan it for cracks. This is so you don't waste any prospector limpets. They look like this, and there should be about 8 of them all around the asteroid, so they're usually pretty easy to spot. If you see one, you fire a prospector limpet at the asteroid and then target the limpet. It'll tell you what the core is made of. We're looking for void opals, as they bring in the most money. We're talking about over 1.6 million per unit. But low temperature diamonds and grandidierite, I don't know how you say it exactly, are also very good options. They're worth half as much as the opals, but we're still talking about over 700,000 credits per unit, so it's quite a lot. You should skip anything else right now, as it's not worth your time. Remember, just because we're in a void opal hotspot doesn't mean all motherlode asteroids will contain void opals. It just means much higher chance to find them. Now comes the fun part, cracking the asteroid open to get the goodies. Target a fissure. The fissures all have strength, and the seismic charges need to be set appropriately to the fissure's strength. The possible strengths are low, average, and high, and they correspond to low, average, and high charge yields. Hold the fire button to charge the seismic yield to the correct level and release to fire. We want to get the charges to a level that allows a perfect break. Set the yield too low and the asteroid won't crack. Too high and many resources will be lost in the explosion. You have 2 minutes to set it right from the first charge, which is plenty of time, so don't worry. If you find 2 low strength fissures, then setting 2 high yield charges on them should bring you to the optimal yield range. It's possible to cancel a charge using the contacts menu on the left. So if you've set a charge to a yield that's too high or too low, you can simply remove it and then fire another one at the same fissure. Once the yield is optimal, you'll get a little notification on the upper right. Back off at least 2 kilometers away from the asteroid to avoid hull damage and enjoy the fireworks and the amazing sound. It's only possible to get closer if you have shields, and even then, I wouldn't recommend getting any closer than 1 kilometer or you could risk seriously damaging your hull. Once the asteroid is cracked, get your collector limpets working. They'll swarm the resources and bring them to your ship one at a time. In the meantime, fire the abrasion blaster at the newly exposed resources and let the limpets grab them as well. Another warning here, don't go in the middle of the exploded asteroid without shields. The temperature at the center is 0% and could freeze your front window, making it very hard to see as well as damaging your hull. Staying near the abrasion blaster's max range of 1 kilometer should keep you out of the cold center while still being able to knock off all the extra minerals. That's all there is to it. All that's left to do is to fill up your cargo and find a good station to sell it to. For this, we need to go back to the utility site in RSCZ, click on the market, then goods, select void opals from the list, and then click on best sell. This will list all the stations with the best sell price for void opals, and there are quite a few right now, so a bunch of them should be pretty close to you. Alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new about the new mining mechanics. Let me know how much money you've made in the comments below. And for more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.